introduction from the Fitrah-Focused Coaching certification that we do at Back to the Fitrah Mentoring Academy today. I have Wajiha Khan here with me. And before I introduce her, I would just quickly share with you Fitrah-Focused Coaching is, or the certification program is something that we've been running for 5 years now. And I'm now writing a book to share with the world what this type of coaching is, because I do think it's really important with all the mentoring and coaching we're now doing in the Muslim world, that we're doing it from an Islamic perspective. And I'll just quickly show you the cover of the book here. It's just going to pop up across our faces there for a minute. Wajiha, there we go. So Fitrah-Focused Coaching, an Islamic blueprint for transformative coaching, inshallah, is going to be available very soon, and it will outline everything in terms of what this coaching is all about. But to share with you what it's about, I've invited various guests, and Wajiha is a graduate from the 2022 group. Is that correct, Wajiha? You were our 2022 group last year? Alhamdulillah. All the years since COVID seem to blur together, so I just got to double check. Alhamdulillah. So she's graduated earlier this year. MashaAllah, was a speaker in our conference last month and in our summit that's coming up next week, inshallah. So welcome, Wajiha. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So thank you so much for joining me early in the morning, as it is, to share some of the changes you've noticed in your life. Because one of the things about this program is the personal transformation that happens through participating in it. And your topic in the conference was about being able to speak up. So I'd love you to share what you've noticed different about yourself in terms of being able to speak up, and what do you mean by that, so that people understand.
Okay, before I usually found that even if I'm right, I was not able to speak up. Also, uh, there were situations when I had to teach someone. I was teaching children or I was teaching some friends' children, but I couldn't say anything. I was getting stuck in the words, in the thought process that what will they think of me? How will the people react, etc., etc. There was kind of like a prison in my mind which was holding me down. But
Mm.
when I did this course, and I did the certification, and I realized that the thoughts, what thoughts are, and these feelings of being trapped, I found out this is the prison in my mind that I created myself. I and the perspective changed. When that perspective changed, everything changed. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. I love the way you described that. It's like you've created a prison in your mind, and the way, and it's like the bars of the prison have fallen away,
Yeah.
isn't it? That, and all it is our own way of thinking about things. You're worrying about what other people would think or say if you spoke up. And
Mm.
now that you do speak up, do you find that people are thinking and saying the things you were worrying about?
I found that I don't care. Astaghfirullah.
You found you don't care.
It doesn't affect me as it used to do. It's yes, they can think they have the right to think, but when I think when my feeling when I am doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and I know I'm not doing anything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be displeased with, it doesn't affect me.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. That's beautiful. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair for sharing
Yeah.
that. The other area that you said has changed a lot for you is in relationships. Would you like to share what you see differently in your relationships?
Yeah. Before, I have no concept of separate reality. And so there were expectations, things that now I realize that was actually not fair on them. But now with the concept of separate reality, Alhamdulillah, it's so much better to deal with every kind of relationship with my husband, with children, mother and father. I can see, okay, this is my point of view, and that is their point of view, and
Mm,
it's easy to go on from there.
mm. Yeah, so separate
Alhamdulillah.
realities is one of the concepts that we go into detail in all of our programs because it is transformative to relationships, and it simply breaks down as we're all experiencing life through thought in the moment. So each and every one of us is experiencing life separately through our own
Mhm.
thought in the moment. And it does make a profound difference in all relationships. Can you give
Mhm.
some examples? I don't mean like specific personal examples, but some examples of how that works, because that's very general what we've just shared. And maybe it will help people understand it better, why it changes relationships. If you can share an example of how separate realities works, or an example of maybe how it's worked for you.
Um, okay, let's for in lots of my relationships, let's take the example of children. Uh, and they, I was coming from the point of view of our mother. You know how the mother are, they are worried that happens. With the when with children, they have no idea of the thing why I'm saying this. Why does mother say this? Because obviously every person takes the event in a different way. It was not easy for them to get what mama is coming from. And why does he always say this? But with the separate reality, when I realized, okay, this is my reality and they are coming from different realities. So it
Mm,
happens when I explain to them, okay, this, uh, for example, I'm telling or asking them to do something. I give the as much as better explanation or communicate in a way that is clear and concise. It
mm,
it does not exactly tell them my point of view, but it helps them understand. Oh, now I get it, and they then move from there. But
mm.
it's kind of like a made. There was a communication gap before, but now the gap is bridging. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
So, Alhamdulillah.
I think the key thing that gets we get caught up in is assumptions and expectations, isn't it? And
Mm,
when we see separate realities, we stop making assumptions because we realize that we could be completely wrong with how we're thinking, they're thinking,
mm,
because of course we don't know. And
mm,
the expectations also drop because we also realize that we don't know what they're thinking.
mm,
And it's that
yes,
simple, isn't it? We don't know what
yes,
they're thinking, so stop thinking we know what they're thinking and actually
mm,
just have a conversation. How many times, people are in conflict with each other simply because they just didn't
yes.
ask, "What did you mean by that?"
Actually, in most of the conversation, we do assume things, and that is the problem. That becomes the problem later on.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. So who would you recommend the certification program for, Wajiha?
For everyone, I think. Because I'm doing the certification course I did with my children. So definitely for children, they need to be prepared. Well, I don't want them to learn things so late in life when I have to do. I want to get the handle on things from early on life. And
Mm,
definitely for all the ladies and the brothers who are there, definitely everyone needs to do it.
inshallah, inshallah. So the reason we have the variety of programs we do is to cater for everyone. Specifically, the certification is the most in-depth and detailed version of what we do. So it's really for those that want to get deep into the understanding, and inshallah then be of benefit to others. I'd like to thank you, Jazakallah khair, Jiha, for being here in the morning with me and sharing
Mm.
the changes that you've experienced in doing the certification. It's much appreciated. Jazakallah khair, sis.
Why, okay. Jazakallah khair for inviting me.
Wayaki, it's my pleasure to have you. So, anyone who's listening who is keen to learn more, just type certification in the comments, and inshallah, we will share the link with you so that you can check it out. So, Jazakallah khair, Wajiha. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.